They said that it's not. This announcement is for Shalin the Hades. Shalin the Hades, if you are in the area, please head over to the casters table. You are needed. Shalin the Hades, if you can head on over to the casters table, it will be very appreciated. Thank you. This announcement is for all of you who are taking part for Clash Royale. The Clash Royale tournament is about to begin, so head on over to the mobile gaming section. Those of you who are taking part for Clash Royale, the tournament is about to begin, so please head on over to the mobile gaming section. Thank you.
Hi guys and welcome back. So we are here at the Play Expo 2018. Of course, it is the Dialogue Play Expo 2018 organized by Gamer.lk, and so today we have been having a lot of matches, mainly League of Legends. And right now we are in the League of Legends section. One match is just about to start. It is going to be SLG's game number 23. So we have had a lot of matches throughout the entire day, so to get up to game number 23. Alongside this, we did have the in-game Esports South Asia Cup, where we did see the conclusion of game number 1, which was India versus Bangladesh. India, of course, winning the matchup against Bangladesh there, but of course we do have another match of South Asia Cup coming up as well. So anyhow, talking about SSCG itself, I mean, it has grown across the years so much so that we are right now here at the SLDCC. It started in a small room at BMI Stage, then basically upgraded itself into the main hall at BMI Stage, and then to hall number C at Sirimavu. It has been switching around, but this is the second year that the Play Expo alongside SSCG is happening at SLDCC. So we did have a couple of Dota matches as well, and we did have the league matches, Special Force 2, and we did have a couple of single play titles. The FIFA matches I think have started, as well as Tekken, and all the single play titles that go along with it. So I do have Azman here as well. Hi Azman.
Now is we actually have a SF2 game going on. It's actually pretty intense, as you can see the crowd behind us, all anticipating, you know, just watching the game, because I think Max is really strong when it comes to SF2. There are multiple teams that are really quite well versed in the game, so they know exactly what they're doing. They played the game a lot. And it's obviously one of those games that Dialogue has introduced that has become extremely popular with the Sri Lankan fan base as well as the cyber athletes. So currently the score is 3-1, so favored in Max.
Yeah, I mean, Dialogue is actually sending the winners abroad to compete in an international stage, as well as there's a lot of prize money involved as well. So a lot to compete for here for Special Forces 2 title, which was introduced by Dialogue, like you said. It goes as the Dialogue Gaming League, which was held across the entire year, across multiple events that Gamer.lk alongside Dialogue Gaming did, namely the Intermercantile, the Interschools, and the Inter-University. So basically the winners of each of those have come here for the main event, where the main event winners will be going up against the winners from the previous titles, where the winner of that will basically represent Sri Lanka in the World Special Force 2 Championship, fully sponsored, of course, by Dialogue. And I mean, it's amazing how much of work that Dialogue, I think, has done over the years to make sure that esports as a whole develops in the country day in and day out, whether it's connections or whether it's sponsoring events. They have done a lot of work to make sure that esports is what it is today in the country.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they supported esports throughout many years. They really helped us push the esports scene, and you know that's why we even have international tournaments happening right now. I mean, we saw the game between India and Bangladesh, if I'm not mistaken, and obviously that rivalry had been going on for 2 to 3 years, and to be able to bring that down to Sri Lanka and give our cyber athletes that experience, I think is just amazing, because that sort of play you don't see every day. It's extremely high skill, because these teams are the #1 in their country. So once again, hats off to Dialogue for being able to provide us with this.
So some other information that you all might not know, this is the 11th year that SLCG is happening. And on top of that, esports as a whole, worldwide, has grown so much that in the next Asian Games, esports is actually going to be a medal title. So the cyber athletes in Sri Lanka is going to be able to compete at the Asian Games to actually win a medal for the country. And if I'm not mistaken, last time Asian Games Sri Lanka was not able to win a single medal. But that might all change with the way that esports is developing inside the country, as well as the skill level that these esports athletes bring into the table. I mean, we see teams with the likes of Team Zyphos, which is for CSGO, and then we have Lanka Lance for League of Legends, we have Amrut for StarCraft 2, we have, and we have Roshan for Tekken 7, so we do have a lot of high-tier cyber athletes inside the country who will actually be able to maybe win a medal for Sri Lanka in the next upcoming Asian Games as well. And of course, esports inside the country itself is recognized by the Olympic Committee, the National Olympic Committee, or the NOC as we call it. And also, Gamer.lk is in the process of actually getting esports recognized by the sports ministry as an official sport inside the country as well. Discussions are underway and it looks very promising. And by next year, hopefully, esports inside the country will be recognized as an actual sport by the sports ministry as well. So a lot of work being done. And I think, I don't know whether you saw, there was a post on newsfeed where France, I think it was France or Portugal, which has started their own TV channel, a 24-hour TV channel specifically dedicated for esports. I mean, that's amazing to see esports going mainstream, and right now we are on mainstream right now, streaming live throughout Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch as well. So it's amazing to see the development that esports has been showing. What do you think about the games that has been happening? Like for Dota, Special Force, and Call of Duty, as well as League of Legends?
I mean, so far all the games have been extremely intense. I mean, you can tell that, all these teams have come with a lot of preparation, a lot of practice. They put in the time, they put in the effort to get better. Not even, like, we haven't even seen most of the best teams obviously come and perform, but even then you can tell from all the noise happening around us, how hyped they are, how excited they are to, even advance from stage 1 to stage 2, because it means that much to them. And like you said, especially for SF2, getting the chance for a fully sponsored trip to, go international and, basically get this opportunity that we have here is amazing, and, it's a really great opportunity. And obviously, one exciting thing definitely is, like, for almost every single esport that we're having, so many teams have come up. I mean, there are so many promising teams that have newly risen to the top, and, they've shown some really good class and discipline when it comes to performing under pressure in a LAN environment. I mean, like we said, we even knew, even though the Bangladesh team was, really the number 1 in their country, but when it comes to LAN, it's a completely different experience, because there's noise, there's people screaming, there are people, everyone watching you, judging every single movement that you make. So there's a lot of pressure to be had, and these games are all high intense and they all mean something. And so far, the pressure in here has been immense. It's been electric, it's been entertaining. You can still hear the shouting behind me, so even the crowds are getting into it, and that's basically just how just day 1 has been. Yeah, I mean, as the days go on for tomorrow and day after, it's just going to be getting that much intense, because we'll be going into the basically better teams are going to be moving forward inside the bracket, so the games are going to be definitely getting more intense. And for those of you who do not know, tomorrow we do have the cosplay competition happening, which is going to be the individual cosplay, and day after we are going to have the group cosplay as well. And there is a 175,000 prize pool for cosplaying. This is the largest prize pool for cosplaying that Sri Lanka has ever seen, and it's here at the Dialogue Play Expo 2018, organized by Gamer.lk, of course, who have been definitely the pioneers of esports inside the country for the last so many years, day in and day out, organizing these tournaments. And on top of that, we have a lot of panel discussions happening tomorrow as well, whether it's comic related, whether it's gaming related, whether it's clan related. I think there's a lot of ideas being thrown around between each other. There will be a very entertaining clan discussion happening between the clan admins tomorrow as well. So do stay tuned in for that. That's definitely going to be something worth watching. We had a lot of fun the last time that we did that as well. To get an insight onto how the clan system in the country is working, how much of drama there is, how much of friendly competitiveness is there between each other. And it has just been increasing day in and day out. And this year, I think we might see a change, or we might not. We'll have to wait and see. But it's definitely the most intense SLCG or the Play Expo that we have ever had in Sri Lanka right now. Yeah, definitely. Not to just, I mean, the drama and everything is definitely what every Sri Lankan loves. I mean, everyone, whether it's on Facebook, on social media, anything that you see it on, everyone loves to, try to give their 50 cents. So that panel will definitely be a very interesting one if you do manage to pull it off. I think the one you did previously was a really really big eye-opener. So this one, I think you have something special in plan. So hopefully we'll find out what that is tomorrow. Only thing is we'll wait and see. It's all new content, man. So it's going to be a different angle of what the clans are doing right now. Let's see what happens. It's going to be interesting to see what the clan admins of each of these clans actually think about what they're doing and what their end goal of the whole thing is. So last time we spoke about the past, all the past stuff that has happened between. This time, I'm planning on talking about, things that are very much closer to the present. What has happened recently, what are the plans for the future, and what is happening here at SLCG itself, to get an idea of what their plan is to win the overall award as well as the best clan award here, and what it means as a clan to win those. So, anyhow, we'll start moving towards the Dota 2 section and more gaming sections right here. So we were right now here at the Special Force section, like Azman was talking about. It was
It is a team Maximum taking on a team from Phoenix Gaming. And this year's SSC, this title is very highly contested due to the fact that the winners are going to go abroad, fully sponsored by Dialog. So it's definitely one of the more highly contested titles here at the at SSCG. And moving on, we did have a game conclude, a Call of Duty game conclude shortly, and there's another Call of Duty game happening. So throughout the entire day, starting from 9 o'clock in the morning, there's been continuously a lot of matches happening. There's a lot of matches, a lot of teams are there. I think Call of Duty has 100 plus teams. Dota 2, I think, have 40 odd teams. League of Legends has another 40 teams. Overwatch has, I think, has around 20 teams. So there's a lot of these. I'm just talking about team titles. This is not taking into consideration the 100 odd registrations for FIFA. I think 50 odd registrations for Tekken. Like, there's a lot of participants throughout the entire 3 days. It's definitely going to be action packed. And something I think that we did miss out on was the fact that tomorrow Rockfest is going to be happening at 6 o'clock in the evening, if I'm not mistaken. You have all your popular bands, especially someone that we all know is going to be Stigma. I think everyone has heard about Stigma, so they'll be performing tomorrow as well. And it's going to be a really hyped up event here at the Play Expo 2018 as well. So do come down to Play Expo to witness the music, really good music. I'm a fan of rock music, and it's definitely going to be good. I mean, Stigma, they're gods, man. Like, I'm a huge fan of them, and to have them playing at an event like Play Expo, it's really good. Hats off to Dialog and for Gamer.lk for pulling something like that off. And I think, did you hear that Shalin the Hades, so from League of Legends, the guy who was casting the League of Legends match for Bangladesh versus India, he was talking about a group cosplay that they have planned for Sunday. Do you hear what it was about?
I didn't actually. I mean, I heard about the discussion, but I'm not exactly sure on what he's planning because
apparently it's a surprise. It's going to be a surprise related to League of Legends.
Oh, that's actually going to be pretty cool because I remember, I think you were in Seychelles last year, so you unfortunately missed out on last year's. We actually had over 100 solo participants taking part for the cosplay, so that took a lot of effort from my part, but it was all so amazing, the amount of effort and, you know, the amount of character that they put into the cosplays, especially the group cosplays itself. I mean, I think last year we saw the Overwatch group coming out on top in the group cosplay, and their cosplays was just amazing. It was just insane. And they even had the characters, the way they act, the way they move, even those movements, they had it almost perfectly down. So it'll be interesting to see whether, you know, Shalinda and the gang can take the gold, you know.
Yeah, and cosplay, I think we are just going to increase in numbers because, like I said, we had 100 last year, and it's definitely going to increase this year just because of the added price pool value to it as well. People are going to be putting even more effort into their cosplay. It's going to be definitely amazing. So we do have the South Asia Cup's second match for the day starting up. It's going to be, I think, Maldives taking on India.
It's going to be Maldives taking on Pakistan.
It's actually Maldives taking on Pakistan. So that match is going to be live shortly. So I'm going to be handing over the proceedings over to Shalinda and Akila, who is going to be taking you through the play-by-play and, of course, the entire game as a whole. So Shalinda and Akila, back to you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Okay, well, we are back live here at SLECC, and unfortunately Akila isn't here to join me at the shoutcasting table, but instead we have a veteran player, a fellow former teammate of mine, my AD carry player, Sherazad Jainuddin here to shoutcast alongside me. Shera, why don't you introduce the teams to every one of us here who is tuned in for this match?
Alright, so on the blue side we got Rana Murray Esports, who is representing Maldives. And the team was formed in 2008, and they have been starting off 2018 very strong. And it is actually their first tournament outside of the country, which is amazing, knowing that they formed their team 2018. So they've progressed really well.
Okay, well, that's really good for them because they did start at the start of 2018. It's only been a year since they've come, and they won the qualifying Maldives to get here today. And I think it's really impressive. However, they are playing against probably the most formidable team in this tournament here. Formed in 2015, Portal Esports from Pakistan, have been playing for 3 years and did win the LCS in Pakistan and the 5th Asian, and actually placed 5th in the Asian Games. Their Vietnam qualifier at the Asian Games, they had a score of actually 8-0. And
A
this
very strong
is
team.
Yeah, against us, even our team. Like even though Lanka Lions tied for second place with 5 wins and 3 losses in the Asian Games, they still couldn't live up to the expectations, and that is an 8-0 streak from this team. So they'll be playing against this new Maldives team, and I feel like it's going to be a great challenge for Randamari Esports, who are the Maldivian team here today. So now they have qualified for the IGE South Asia Cup and will be showing their colors.
On to the champion select.
So now we are actually live at Sham Select. Okay. Is Sham Select on screen? They need to. So actually we are in Sham Select right now, and the pick and ban phase has already begun. It would be really cool if we can get it on screen as well. So until then, I'm just going to talk about a bit about what these teams have banned. We can see from the side of Randamari Esports, they have taken away the Yasuo, Darius, and Irelia first rotation. These are 3 very snowballed champions who can easily push a team forward to get ahead. So on the other side, the first banning phase, you can see that the Yorick, Aatrox, and Nocturne were taken out of the equation. These are all strong solo laners and global ultimate jungle with the Nocturne who can bring a lot of impact into the game. So I can understand why they are focusing on these bans. They need to make sure that the solo lanes don't snowball out of control. So right after, you can see that they went straight into the initial pick phase. So why don't you talk about what the teams picked?
I think as far as Randamari Esports, they've got a very it's going to be very tricky.
Yeah, I would say that it's how Esports make use of this because being active in so much for these games and get these lanes ahead and really aggressive. We can see from the little thing that they so while we wait on the final picks to load out, let's talk about the other bands. You can see that Randamari Esports have actually taken away the Urgot.
You got a Kled right there.
Yeah, they've taken away the Urgot as well as the Kai'Sa, which has been a dominant pick in the competitive scene all over the world. Kai'Sa is known as one of the most strongest hyper carries in the late game. You can build her AD, you can build her AP, you can build a hybrid, but whatever way you build her, if she gets ahead, she's a champion that can single-handedly take over the game.
I see they trying to hover. Oh, Mordekaiser. There's going to be a Mordekaiser bot. And I think they're trying to look to get those dragons and just push hardcore.
Yeah, you can see that the way they've drafted.
This
I think
is
it's a
very
Mordekaiser bot lane here. A Maud and a Leona against the Lucian and Thresh. This is going to be very interesting.
I mean, the thing is, like, if Leona catches someone off guard, you're sure to know that they're dead.
Yeah, however, you can see there's a range advantage there by the Lucian. So he should be able to abuse the fact that he has more range and try and look for those level 2 power plays. If they can hit level 2 before the Leona Mordekaiser lane, they might be able to capitalize and make something happen. Especially if Xin also manages to rotate around the same time. So it'll all be depending on how it plays out and what jungle pathing the Xin Zhao is actually going to take. So, yeah, we didn't get to actually talk about the remaining bans on the side of Pakistan. They've taken away the Galio as well as the Lissandra, 2 extremely strong team fighting champions who bring a lot of utility and crowd control into a team fight. And
that's right.
Yeah, and you can see the final lock-ins on the side of Randamari Esports were the Ari and the Kled, which is quite interesting to see. They've actually put Camille in the jungle position. It is a pick that can be flexed around. So
I was actually expecting a Camille top, but
Yeah,
Jungle
it seems like
works
they're going to
too
go
now
with
in the
the
middle.
jungle Camille. I think they're taking a page off the book of IGE, who won Worlds 2018. They ran the Camille jungle in all 3 games, and they absolutely destroyed Fnatic.
Yeah.
And he played a crucial role in leading that team to victory. So we'll see if we can, if this Maldivian team can replicate this against this very strong Pakistani team comp that they have. They have an assassin with the Akali in the mid lane, matched by another assassin in the Ahri. So it's a ranged versus melee matchup. So I have a feeling Ahri is going to have the advantage until level 6. And after level 6, if Akali is able to survive the laning phase, she might be able to pose a huge threat wherever she goes on the map. Akali, ladies and gentlemen,
Especially
is a
her
broken
Shroud,
champion.
which is really annoying to deal with.
Yeah, and any team that has to face up against an Akali knows that, you know, you need to play very carefully around that Shroud of hers, because she becomes truly invisible, which means true invisibility means she cannot be scouted by control walls, she cannot be scouted by abilities.
And even turret diving?
And yeah, and she can turret dive and just swap
Use her
aggro
Shroud
so
and she
easily.
wouldn't get hit by the turret.
Let's just talk about this Mordekaiser, man. Like, you don't see this in competitive tournaments. This seems to be an old strategy that they've brought back here. So I'm really interested to see how they're going to go with this, because they do have better control over the early game. The Xin Zhao and the Leona would equal that the bot lane can actually move in to take dragons a lot more early and secure them more than the Lucian and the Thresh can. So they'll be looking forward to siege them down, get that dragon, and use its ghost to siege down towers. So it's going to be really interesting.
Lucian must definitely focus on not getting CC'd by Leona, and if he can manage not to get CC'd by Leona, then he can have advantage over the lane.
Yes. So
because the moment he gets CC'd, it's going to be trouble, trouble, trouble.
Yeah, especially because Leona is tank enough already when she activates her W. So on top of that, Mordekaiser can shield her as well when she engages. So she'll literally be taking no damage and also dishing out damage over time to whoever she jumps on top of. So if you look at the way these lanes play out, if Xin Zhao was able to pull, come into the bot lane, they visit, especially if there are no flashes down on the side of Randomary Esports on the Lucian or the Thresh, there's literally no escape from that.
Yes, I agree with you.
So we are actually about to head live into the game right now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us here at SLECC, this is the biggest League of Legends tournament in Sri Lanka so far, because these are some crazy good international teams playing on stage, and whoever wins Sri Lankan Cyber Games, the Sri Lankan tournament, will face off against the winners. Actually, they'll be also thrown into the bracket and will go into group stage matches that will continue throughout the day. So it's going to be interesting to see. I want to see how these two teams play. I'm really curious to see how Randomary Esports actually perform.
All right, the first thing what I noticed was that I see a Mordekaiser and I see Hail of Blades.
That's actually an interesting strategy, because
I see Hail of Blades on a Mordekaiser, which is something I've never seen that before.
Okay, so
that is the first thing that I noticed. Oh, also Lucian's got fleet footwork and not press the attack.
That's I'm a little curious as to why
I think maybe he's just trying to get out of the sticky situation, just to give him that extra movement speed.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So,
very interesting ruins from the get-go. What I'm seeing right now, inside in the side of bot lane.
Okay, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in game, and the camera will switch around. There does seem to be a bit of a.
And you know what? I see nobody with Dark Harvest. Why isn't anybody going with Dark Harvest this game?
Well, I have a feeling it's because maybe this is the game is in an experimental stage, and I don't think any of these teams want to take any risks, because Dark Harvest doesn't work if you're playing against a team that, has their game together. So if they can avoid granting Dark Souls stack and the game stalls, and there is no scaling and no Dark Harvest stacks being picked up anywhere, it's going to be very difficult to dish out damage in the late game. And Dark Harvest is reliant on dealing damage to champions below 50% HP. So if you're having a look at the way the lanes are currently playing out, you can see that none of the teams are looking to invade, nothing too fancy. You can see that pings are being thrown down. It's just going to be an average start. It's only Xin Zhao will not actually be starting on blue side here. So we might see the junglers mirroring and going into the enemy jungle to take each other's buffs. So now that we enter the laning phase, we'll see how things go from here.
Yep, we see blue side starting standard, Camille starting on the red side. Xin Zhao starting getting that red buff.
And you can see that the bot lane have immediately pushed in. So they're looking for that early level.
I think that was also very important.
An early gank?
No, if you just think about it, it was very important that bot lane pushes and tries and gets level 2 before Thresh and Lucian gets level 2, or else they're going to get the advantage over the lane.
A lot of trading going around across the map, and you can see the junglers have started fighting here. It doesn't look good for the Camille at this point. She's able to land the stun, but one more auto attack should do it. The flash and the auto, she will burn, and the red buff secures the first kill and first blood going to the Pakistani team here. Ninja way, showing us the ninja way.
That was a very aggressive move coming in by Xin Zhao, and he capitalized on it. Surprised the Camille, actually, in her own jungle.
Which was actually really good move there to read the jungle pathing there. And first blood already going in, not even 3 minutes into the game.
And partly the reason why Xin Zhao took advantage of that, because bot lane...
Meanwhile, in the top lane, we might actually see a kill going down here. He flashes forward. However, that was so close. If the mount didn't come back, we would have seen a dead clip there for sure. Just so much aggression from this Pakistani team. They are relentless. Wow. So, I just wanted to highlight the fact that you can see a huge CS lead across the board already. It's only been 3 minutes into the game, and having a look at the CS, we can see that... thank you for adjusting that for us, by the way. You can see that there's a significant lead in the CS here. My goodness, this Mordecai is just farming up a storm.
24 CS on Mordekaiser, Lucian with 18 CS.
Well, and also in the mid lane, you can see that the Ahri only has 10 CS to the 21 from Akali. This is something you shouldn't be seeing, because as a race champion, it's a lot easier for you to get your last hits and poke the Akali out, but Akali is farming better here, which means that it's already off to a bit of a bad start here for the Maldivian
Just goes to show how Portal Esports is like one of the best South Asian teams.
Oh, and gets an immediate engage there by Lina, going with the Zenith Blade. She's able to land the stun, and there's a lot of damage coming through, but the follow-up by Thresh lands his death sentence. He's probably going to flame backwards here. He does get stunned and ignited, the heal burn, but at the meantime in the mid lane, you can see that the Ahri is under pressure. She's probably going to go down here. One more auto attack should do it, and a kill is secured, but returned. The trade kill coming out there, but a beautiful gank there by the Xin Zhao. So 1 kill to 2 on the board right now. So you can see that Randomar Esports have emerged on the board here. It's currently a gold lead of over 1,000, about 1,300 in favor of Portal Esports, but still, this is good, the fact that they were able to actually pick up the return kill there. So I think it's actually worth for the Ahri. Meanwhile, you can see the top lane is being actually pushed out. A big creep wave. This should be the ideal time for Kled to just go back and buy his items.
In terms of the CS on the top lane, Kled is actually dominating, which I'm surprised.
Surprisingly, yeah. Let me just quickly adjust this around so that we have an even... there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be fooled, even though this right here is not supposed to be there. This is actually...
And
this was meta
some
time back. So the Pakistani team here looks like they're just showing us that they don't just play conventional League of Legends. Who needs an ADC when you can be Mordekaiser? Oh, a nice jump there, and good damage there by the Ahri, managing to make use of a combo.
What?
Already done. So, yeah, you can see that the first item picked up here by the Kled was actually the Tiamat, which means he'll be able to push this Jackson, who still hasn't recall, by the way. He's on his first recall here right now. We
Jax
should
still
put
hasn't
the
recovered. Oh,
lane
Jax
in
is
favor of
down.
Kled right now, because he's going to push that under the tower.
Alright, what do you think of Ahri with Dark Harvest? I've seen a lot of Ahris with Dark Harvest.
Oh, well, meanwhile, while Ahri's with
That
Dark Harvest
phase
is
rush
good, Xin
working
Zhao
his
is
magic.
unrelenting in his pursuit. He's just going after that Camille, knowing that he has the advantage. Xin Zhao is a very strong jungle in the early game and unafraid to flex, but meanwhile in the top lane you can see that, oh, there's some really good damage. There are good mechanics from the Kled. However, does take some return damage, is able to put out a lot as well. So Jax kind of bought low here. You can see he, on his first recall, he bought 2 long swords and a boot, as well as a control bot to make sure he doesn't get ganked. You can see Xin is actually being very sneaky now. He knows that the red buff has spawned. He's actually taking the red buff from from
right
Camille
now
as we speak. You
they're
can see
taking
that
control
the
of
lanes
the
have...
red side of their jungle.
Yeah.
They cannot do anything because Camille is just getting threatened the entire time by Xin Zhao.
Well, you can see that this is all because of the way that this was their game plan, you know, to try and get that bot lane pushing out so they have control over this dragon side. And you can already see that Xin Zhao is way ahead in the jungle matchup here. He's just going into the enemy jungle and picking up the buffs as he pleases. Right now you can actually see him start the dragon. You can see that the Pakistan team have actually pushed out and they are going to secure this Drake quite easily. There should be no contest at this point here. And the first Drake will be going down.
They're going to use his dragon to try and push down bot.
Yep, and they're just going to use this dragon to siege and get... I'm guessing the reason why they actually picked it makes sense now because of the way the game has changed. Turret plates were introduced with preseason and they grant gold. They do grant gold when they go down. So you can see, look at the amount of damage.
Yeah,
that's just
that's
free
a lot
gold
of
being
damage
added
right
onto
there.
the side of Portal Esports here. So see, ladies and gentlemen, you might be wondering, why is that dragon attacking
there comes
that
a hook.
attack right now? But meanwhile, there's an engage and they're just going to go
And
straight
that is
in on the
dangerous.
Thresh.
I
He
think the Thresh
has
is
been
going to
altered
die
by
right now.
Mordekaiser and has died. And now you can see the Thresh is coming forward. A beautiful engage there. Flash forward right after the solar flare. Stun comes up. You can see
Whoa.
Lucian flashes backwards.
That was a misstep
and he's
right
probably
there.
going to get another kill here. That's a double kill picked up by
That was a huge
Lucian.
misstep right there by the Leona.
I guess it was a bit of miscommunication there, and also in the top lane, Jax having to actually burn his flash. So you can see that Randamari Esports are not going to go down without a fight. They've actually put themselves on the board as well and managed to even up the score. 3 kills to 4, 8 minutes into the game, but still there's a goal lead here in favor of Portal Esports here. It's almost at 2,000 at this point, 2,200 to be precise.
This Jax is playing really safe, and Kled has actually dominance over the lane right now.
Yep, it was all based on that first buy. He just went straight to base, came back with the time at, and he has the advantage when it comes to the pushing. So he knows what he's doing. His mechanics are pretty good. However, this game is still quite close. It's only a very small difference. However, these dragons will stack up. And you can see immediately Jax is going in for a bit of a trade here. Xin is joining him in the top lane as well. And it looks like we might see a kill going down. Oh my goodness, this is... Will Kled get his mount back? He flashes, but he's unable to get his mount back in time. Was able to pick up a kill, however, Ninja away on the Xin Zhao, now 2-0.
I think that Kled should have just gone a little bit more back, waited for his...
mount, yeah.
Yeah, to come in.
However, he was able to pick up a kill there, so I mean, it was completely worth for me. I think it was completely worth. However, Xin Zhao does pick up the kill there, and now he's 2-0 onto Camille 0-2. And
Whoa,
Leona actually misses her ultimate
Leona.
there. Solar Flare not hitting, followed up with the Zenith Blade. So good dash by Lucian to keep it safe. So now they can play this lane a bit more aggressively, knowing that Leona doesn't have her ultimate up. Oh, actually we might
In terms of CS goes, we can see Akali dominating in lane, 78 CS, Ahri with 53. Very difficult for her to try and farm, which I'm very surprised of.
Yeah, I mean, we actually missed some of the kills going down there. I didn't see Akali get her second kill, so it probably happened around the same time as the other fights did. However, you can see this is a 2-kill Akali,